News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, President Trump is not letting up on his attacks on Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. That's despite pushback from Republicans, Democrats, business leaders, and central bankers around the world. Let's get the update this morning from Bloomberg's John Tucker. John.
And Nathan, President Trump had this to say about Powell as he left the White House yesterday.
He's billions of dollars over budget, so he either is incompetent or he's crooked. I don't know what he is, but he doesn't do a very good job.
And Trump doesn't seem too concerned with pushback from lawmakers like Republican Tom Tillis, who vowed to oppose any Trump nominees to the Fed after the central bank was subpoenaed.
Well, that's why Tom's not going to be a senator any longer, I guess, right? Well, what do you think? But I like Tom Tillis. He's a nice guy. But look, he's not going to be a senator any longer because of views like that.
Well, Trump said he would announce his nomination to replace Federal Reserve Chair Powell within the next few weeks, despite all the backlash. The president also dismissed Jamie Dimon's criticism over the Justice Department probe of the Fed. He says the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase is wrong to suggest he's attacking Fed independence. Well, this all comes as the blowback gets more intense. 3 former heads of the Federal Reserve and 4 former Treasury secretaries in both Republican and Democratic administrations issued a statement saying this type of investigation has no place in the United States. It was more characteristic of emerging markets with weak institutions. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, John, thank you. Well, President Trump also has Iran on his mind. In his speech in Detroit, heard live on Bloomberg Radio, the president urged Iranians to continue protesting against Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's regime.
I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way. You saw that I put tariffs on anybody doing business with Iran.
And the president says he'll act accordingly once he gets a sense of how many demonstrators have been killed. Reuters is reporting some personnel at a U.S. airbase in Qatar have been told to leave by tonight. The U.S.-based human rights activist news agency reports more than 2,500 people have died, making it the deadliest protest wave in Iran in decades.
And staying with U.S. foreign policy, Karen, top diplomats from Greenland and Denmark are in Washington today to meet with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance. They're hoping the U.S. will back off its demands for the Arctic territory. And the meeting comes a day after Greenland's Prime Minister ruled out the possibility of joining the U.S.
Now we are faced with a geopolitical crisis, and if we have to choose between the United States and Denmark here and now, then we choose Denmark. We choose NATO, we choose the Kingdom of Denmark, we choose the European Union.
Greenlandic Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen spoke through an interpreter. President Trump has declined to rule out the use of military force to get Greenland. He has said the U.S. needs the island for national defense.
Well, turning back to home, Nathan, President Trump says he'll cut off federal funding for so-called sanctuary cities at the end of the month. It's the latest move to crack down on immigration as an enforcement surge continues in Minneapolis a week after a federal officer shot and killed a woman there. President Trump addressed Renee Good's death in the interview with the CBS Evening News.
You know, when you look at that tape, it can be viewed 2 ways, I guess. But when you look at the way that car was pulled away, there are a couple of versions of that tape that are very, very bad.
President Trump spoke with CBS News in Detroit. Meantime, a group of anti-ICE protesters in Minneapolis urged a federal judge to restrict officers' use of force at a hearing yesterday. The demonstrators filed their lawsuit last month before Renee Good's death. The judge said she'll issue a ruling by Friday. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.